a few weeks ago, I started out on a mission to get 7 garments made for my cruise, which, if you're watching this, I am on at the moment. So I've recorded this before I went away to show you what I actually got made. Hi there, I'm Christine the Gemini Stitcher. Welcome to my little sewing space and my holiday sewing reveal vlog. So I planned to make quite a few bits and pieces for my cruise that I'm on at the moment, and I just thought I'd pop on and show you what I actually got finished and my honest opinion of them. Are they coming on my cruise? Are they staying at home? Let's find out. So the first one that I wanted to make was an oldie but goodie. It's the AVENIRE jumpsuit, and here it is in all its glory on Rita. Now I appreciate you can't see the whole of the pattern, but I will be doing a little catwalk at the end so that you can see me swooshing around in my new garments, and I'll be giving them a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then you'll know whether they come with me or not. So this is the AVENIRE. It has an elasticated waist and elastic around the top. It's a really beginner friendly jumpsuit to make. I've made mine in a size small and it's a really good fit. It has little raglan sleeves that are sewn onto it, and we'll turn Rita around because the back is the same as the front. Now, I don't make many jumpsuits, but this one is one that I can live with, because when you've got that emergency toilet dilemma, it's all elastic and it literally just all pulls down. So you've no zips to mess with, no buttons to unbutton. Just whip it off, do what you need to do, whip it back up, job's a good one. Now, obviously, if you're in public toilets, you need to be careful that you don't get your beautiful jumpsuits all over the floor if it's not very clean. But I think that's the only issue that I might have with it. We will see. So I've made mine in some absolutely gorgeous fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. It's a viscose. It's one of their exclusive fabrics, and if they've still got any of it left, I will bob the link below. It's got toucans all over it, palm trees in a midnight blue colour, I think they're calling it. Now this isn't a colour I would normally go for, but as soon as I saw this fabric, you know what it's like, I just had to have it. So there we go, there's garment number 1, all finished, and it looks great on Rita. Will it look great on me? We'll find out at the end. Garment number 2 is the TRIBECCA dress from Maison Fauve. Now this is one of their older patterns that I've had in my stash for a while. Finally got round to making it. Now this can also be bought as a, well, not bought, you can also snaffle this up as a free pattern, but it's only as a shirt version. I've done mine with a gathered hem on it and made it into a skirt. Just pull it up a little bit and then you can see it. There we go. But really, that's easy enough to do, isn't it? Just calculate how much you need and cut some oblongs of fabric off and attach them onto the end of the shirt. Lengthen the shirt a little bit and job's a good one. So you can get this for free if you want. I did purchase mine a long time ago, so it's got some really interesting details in this dress. The neckline is just bias bound, no facings, which actually I prefer. There's buttons down the front and all the detail is in these seams. So there's 2 seams that run down like princess seams down the front on either side, and you stitch some bias binding in the same fabric into those seams, and then the same thing happens across the sleeve as well, and then it continues all the way around the back, all matching. And that is the hardest bit to do on this top or dress. You need to try and get those to match up. So I did mine. Some of them are perfect, but I'm gonna live with it. I pinned it all. Every time I had to line something like that up, I hand tacked it first, and 9 times out of 10 it's worked. I think there's just one where it's not worked there at the front. Annoying or what, but you know, I'll live with it. So I've made this in some stripy viscose cotton blend fabric from Fabrics Galore, but I believe you can also get this from Dalston Mill. I'll pop the link below for Fabrics Galore, and I'll check Dalston Mill and put that there as well, because I believe it's slightly cheaper there. So it's a lightweight cotton viscose mix fabric. Looking forward to wearing this as a daytime outfit when we're out sightseeing. It's lovely and cool and light and breezy. So, you know, it might be warm, mightn't it? Well, I hope it will. So that's garment number 2 complete. Garments 3, 4 and 5 all go together as a mix and match co-ord set. So the top is here, and I've hacked this from the Pattern Emporium About Town top. Now the About Town top finishes in the middle with a slit there, and I wanted these facings on the outside because it's replicating what I saw on Cezanne a few weeks ago. So I reverse-arrowed the facings and put them on the outside and cut it out at the bottom. And then I've also done some machine embroidery on this top. So it's in 2 colours, very bright, green and pink Ramit cotton mix linen that I got from Textile Direct in Oswestry. I've since realised you can get these colours on Pound Fabrics, slightly cheaper, but the downside with Pound Fabrics is you've got to buy by the metre. Textile Direct will do it by the half metre, so it depends which way works better for you. I've done the main part in a pea green, would we say, and then a raspberry linen for the contrast and the neckband and the cuffs. So I'm just going to whiz Rita down so you can see the bottom half of this co-ord set. So here we go, this is the bottom half, and it's a pair of SKORTS. It's a free pattern from Mood Fabrics, and it's going to be my entry into So Frugal this year. So I've done the front panel in raspberry with the embroidery matching the top, and then the rest of it is in the green, and that's the shorts that are behind this little skirt. There you go, quick flasheroo. Absolutely love these SKORTS. They have a little zip on the side, and I think they're going to make an amazingly cool but chic co-ord set. Now, because those SKORTS are quite on the short side, I've got to be honest, I've also made some Bermuda length shorts from the Swim Style Patterns Pearl pattern, and I'm loving these. They come just above the knee, and they will go with that top as well on days where I don't want to be wearing skimpy shorts. So 3 garments to mix and match as a bright, breezy co-ord set. Let's move on to dresses. And the first dress is another day dress that I've made in some stripy cotton jersey that I recently got from Cumbrian Crafting in Barrow. absolutely love this. It's a Stoff of Denmark cotton jersey. Need I say more? So the pattern that I've made this up in is the ENVIE dress from Coralie Bijouzon. Now this dress, I think the patterns online don't really do it justice. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the fit. I love this little bow detail and the plunging V neckline. I've just done little short sleeves on it. You can do long sleeves for the winter, and for the autumn I'm going to do a long sleeve version and make it a lot longer. This one is just above the knee length, so it's a daytime dress for sightseeing in is the idea. So it's an A-line, it fits, skims over your lumps and bumps, doesn't show them out and embarrass you with your body shape. It's just a really flattering fit, doesn't take an awful lot of fabric. I think I got this out of 1.5 meters, but I am a midget, so you'll easily get this out of 2 meters of fabric. Now the good thing that I've done, but the pattern tells you to do, is the bodice is double, so it's no facings on it, but when you're sewing the bodice together on the inside, you sew clear elastic all the way around this neckline, and that helps it to sit really nice and snug on your chest area. But really love this pattern. It's going to be, I think, my favourite jersey dress pattern going forward, and I can see many more of these in my wardrobe. This next dress is an itch to stitch pattern, and it's their FISTERRA dress. Now I've had this in my stash, not made, for quite a while. I loved it when I bought the pattern, and then for some reason fell out of love with it, but now I've made it up, oh my god, I love it again. So I've done, because it's to stitch, do different cup sizes in their pattern, and I'm on a learning curve to embrace my curves, if you like. I've done a C cup bodice on the front because they do all the different options, which is amazing, no bust adjustment necessary. So I've done a C cup on the bust. I've done it all in a size 38. I was doing a size 40 to accommodate my bust, so I've in a B cup, so I've gone down a size but increased the size on the bodice, and it actually works really well. I'm pleased with how the fit has come out. This yummy fabric I got from Sew Me Sunshine. I think it was faulty fabric, so it was reduced as well, and it's a viscose satin. Oh, it was an absolute nightmare to sew with, snagged like you would not believe, even with silk pins and microtex needles. Every time I had a little bit that needed unpicking, oh, I dreaded it because the unpicker was snagging the fabric, even with my fancy new unpicker. Just yes, so if you see any little lines in it, it's the fabric, not me. So the FISTERRA dress has got a flat waistband at the front, the yoke comes round the front and gathers here, and the V-neck, which are all very flattering if you're well endowed, and a nice cinched in waist at the front. Now the length on the pattern was about knee length. I've lengthened mine to 3/4 length, or do you call it a mid-axis? I think that's the word for it technically. Turn it round. Now on the pattern, this back panel here was done with shirring elastic. I have a little bit of a dislike of shirring, if you like. It's nice, I can do it, it looks nice, but it's not, it always feels like it's not tight enough around the back, and I get a much better finish with either channels or one wide elastic. So I chose not to do shearing elastic, and I've done wide elastic in this back panel instead. Apart from that, I followed the pattern. The sleeves, oh, they were amazing to do. There's 3 pleats in these sleeves on the cuff, and then the sleeve head is pleated as well. It's not gathered, which I much prefer. Now, this dress, I'm going on a little bit of a couture finish journey, and this dress fits the bill perfectly because, sorry Rita, I'm going to flash you here, darling. It's fully lined, so everywhere apart from the sleeves are lined as well, which is fabulous. It makes the dress feel so much better, elevates it. I just can't explain, but I love the idea that this dress is lined, and I might consider lining more of my dresses instead of doing facings going forward. Depends on the fabric. Lightweight fabrics, probably will line them from now on. So for my couture finish that I've added to it, I've hand stitched, get me, my hem so that on the front you can hardly see it at all. I love the finish on the sleeves. There are no seams showing on the sleeves, and at the sleeve head it tells you to, when you get to attaching the sleeves in, it tells you to tack the lining and the bodice together on the dress, and then just sew the sleeve in and then finish it, presumably with an overlocker. But I'm trying not to use my overlocker as much and do couture finishes. So when I finished my sleeves, I didn't tack it, I just sewed the sleeve to the outside fabric and fitted it, and then hand stitched the lining over the seam on the inside. A little bit of work, but so worth it for that extra couture finish. So to prove that I've done it, I'm just going to turn the garment inside out, and then you can see the finish on the inside as well as the outside. So this is the inside, and to be honest, it's almost perfect on the inside as well. Just a few stitch lines here where I was attaching my bodices together, but I can live with that. The facings are all sewn into the lining. That's the pattern, not me, but I love that finish. This is what I was talking about with the sleeves. I've hand stitched it all the way around the lining here to encase the seam, rather than end up with rows of overlocking. Under the sleeve has been done, the sleeve seam has been done as a French seam as well. And then because it's fully lined, I've just done everything else as a standard finish, because the lining hides all the seams. So the seams on the lining and the skirt have all been done on the overlocker, because doing all those French seams when you can't see them anyway seemed a little bit overkill for me. And as I said, the hem on the bottom has been hand stitched as well. So a little bit of hand stitching nearly killed me, but I'm getting there, and the more I do it the better I'll get at it and the faster I will get. But slow sewing, couture finish is the way forward for me. That's the FISTERRA dress. I've got one more dress to show you, and then we're all done and we can do the catwalk. This is my last holiday dress, and it's another itch to stitch dress. It's their Samara dress, or is it SORATA? I'll put the right word at the bottom, I keep calling it the wrong name. They all start with an S anyway. But I looked at this dress when it came out and loved it, and then backed away from it for two reasons. One, I was bothered about it has 3 elastic channels around the middle, and I was bothered about how that would look on my midriff, whether it'd make me look lumpy and bumpy around the waist area. And just grab the bottom. It has the option of a frill on the bottom, and I bit the bullet. I've made it and I've put the frill on as well. So I did the skirt length, the length for a knee length skirt. So I took a good 5 inches out of the length of this skirt, and then I took another inch out of the ruffle as well. And it's sort of balanced it. I'm happy with how it is. I love the fit of it. Again, I've done a size 10, but did a C cup with it, and it's worked out really well. I've put the flutter sleeves on mine. You have the option of sleeveless, you can put ruffles round. I wanted to cover my shoulders, so I put the little flutter sleeves in. Makes it more wearable. Sleeveless ones in the UK I don't wear very often. I just thought it would make it more wearable by putting the sleeves on. So the back is the same as the front. The channels go all the way around. Now that was, to be honest, the hardest part, threading the flipping elastic through these channels. So the way that it tells you to put these channels in is very good, but it doesn't make it easy. You leave gaps at one side on the inside waistband, and then you thread your channels of elastic, there's 3 of them, all the way round and meet up again. And then check for stretchability and then sew them together and sew the holes closed. In hindsight, having done it, and my God, what a mare it was. It took me ages. I nearly broke some nails in the process, which is not a good thing this close to my holes. But I managed it. When I make another one, because I will make another one of these dresses, I absolutely love it. But I will leave the gaps on both sides of the inside waistband, and I will do, instead of cutting 3 long pieces elastic, I think I'll cut 6 shorter pieces, thread them through the fronts, use safety pins to hold them, thread them through the backs, and then sew them together at either end and sew the holes closed. Got to be easier than the way I did it, I think. And I think going forward, that's what I would do. And if you make this dress, that's what I recommend you do as well. Save your nails, put holes at either side. So I love the fit, love the details in it, loving the ruffle. And this dress, normally using an overlocker in my old way of sewing, it probably would have taken me a day, maybe a day and a half with the elastics. This, because I've finished all the seams, the only time I used the overlocker, I chickened out, was when I was finishing the armholes. But apart from that, all the seams have been done without an overlocker. So let's turn this dress inside out and see how I've done. Okay, let's start at the top. The facings have all been hand stitched down all the way round. Thanks to the lady who told me about a different way of doing your facings and finishing them by using your interfacing. I'm going to try that one next time. It was a really good idea. The pattern tells you to top stitch on the outside all the way around the facing. I didn't want that look. I didn't want to see that row of stitching. So I've done it, hand stitched it down on the inside. The sleeve, around the sleeves, I'm fessing up, I've overlocked. Maybe I could have done it as a French seam, but it has a lot of pleats around the sleeve head and was bothered that that was going to be too bulky. Maybe I could have done some bias binding around it, and I'll think about that for next time. If you've got a couture way of finishing sleeve seams, please let me know. Moving down, the waistband was meant to stitch in the ditch at the bottom. Again, I hand stitched it round just for belt and braces. I didn't want to see the stitching on the outside at all. The side seams have all been done. On the bodice, I did them with French seams, but then when it came to the skirt part, we've got pockets in it, and I needed to be able to press the seams open. So I did finish them with a rolled hem on each pattern piece down the side seams before I sewed it together. And then the pockets, the part that joins onto the side seam, has been done with a rolled hem finish on it as well. And then round the pockets, I've made my own matching self fabric bias binding and finished the seams off there. Do you get why it took me 3 days instead of a day and a half? Then when we get to the frill, the hem I've machine stitched because it's so gathered nobody's going to see. I did think about hand stitching it all, but oh my god, I was losing the will to live by then, so I gave myself a day off and machine stitched it. But the finish round the top of the frill, I would normally overlock this. I haven't. I've done self bias binding and I've sewn narrow bias binding all the way round the top of the frill, and then done as the pattern says and top stitched it on the outside so that it lies nice and flat. So there we go, that's my latest dress, and that's my hopefully couture finish. So I hope you found that interesting and it's inspired you to make some beautiful summer garments yourself. I will try and take photos of me wearing all these garments when I'm on my hauls, if I remember, or I can persuade the hubster to take them. I'm going to do some changearoos now and show you the garments on, and I will see you all next time. If you've enjoyed this vlog, I'm getting close to another milestone. I'm clawing my way up to 6,000 subscribers, and I would really appreciate your help in getting there. So if you watch my channel on a regular basis, you're enjoying it, but you've never bothered subscribing, then just hit that button and help a girl out. I'll see you all soon. Bye. Love every single one of my garments, and they're all coming on my cruise. So I'll try and take some pics, and I will see you all when I get back. Happy sewing while I'm away, guys. Bye.